point is title, font and size. So you did most of that. So the gloomy,
so we wanted it to be, so on all of our text we have this little gloomy kind of glowy kind of feel behind them, and they're quite big and spaced out. We wanted them to stand out, and also with the gloomy side behind them, bringing in the dark side of it all, and the mysterious kind of way that everyone, when you look at it, kind of, I think everyone else felt the same way, that kind of gave you that feel that it was all a bit dark and scary, which was the atmosphere that we wanted.
Another point on the editing was our crucial part of putting the time down in the bottom of the CCTV. Yeah. That was quite important because we all thought that's how people can distinguish. Yeah, exactly. So that's how we distinguish that was CCTV.
Also, with the CCTV, going back to the editing, I think we all came up with the idea of putting in the CCTV look with the fuzzy kind of a vibe to the shot, to make it look more realistic.
So it takes us on to point 6, which is story on how the opening scene is. So the drive-in, as we explained earlier, it kind of symbolises freedom, and how that kind of really develops and from where we go. And then Lucy, do you want to talk about location and how that really opened up to where we're going? I know we've already partially explained it, but
the driving in with the location and
how it really developed the scene.
Okay. Well, when you watch it, the people driving the car, they don't actually drive up the drive to the house. They stop just on a corner outside, which is pretty much what anyone would do. They wouldn't drive up to a house they were going to rob. Anyone like to anything?
Yeah, we kind of made it out so they're parking outside the house, which Lucy said, which is because obviously you're not going to park inside. You're not just going to go into their drive, are you, and park outside their house, which would look a bit weird, I think, if you're trying to rob someone's house.
Also kind of gives, you also think what other things could happen, because we've got the whole clip's kind of really open-ended to make your imagination run free on where it's going to go. And I think that that first opening scene where the car comes in, you could really jump to so many conclusions of what could actually happen. So that really goes there, and then you can see the house and how large it is from that point.
Yeah, I think from that we kind of wanted, because from the first clip you don't actually realise what they're going to do. We kind of wanted it to be a bit of a mystery of what's suddenly going to happen next. We didn't from the first clip you don't realise they're about to go burgle a house or anything. It also brings in the quiet place, so it shows how there's no one really around, which I thought was good for location and everything.
We were just trying to make it as realistic as possible, not trying to make it cheesy or predictable. We tried to, in a way, think like a burglar would, and do something like that, not make it obvious, just try and get the fact that he's trying to get in somewhere.
And you can tell from our interviews that people felt that reaction, so we weren't giving off a vibe. So our next point 7 is genre and how the opening scene sets up.
So we've kind of already spoken about this, but basically this is how we kind of wanted the driving in to be all mysterious and what's going to happen next, and the walk into the house, then everyone in the audience kind of realises that it's going to suddenly be a burglary or something to do with the house. You see them getting ready as well, which then also brings in the mysterious of them, obviously, that they're going to do a burglary or break the law or something.
I think the fact we tried to make it more mysterious, so you weren't sure what they were exactly doing, but you knew they were up to something of no good, and I think that was important, because I think when people were watching it, they sort of questioned it a bit, and it kept them on the edge.
Yeah.
So point 8 is how characters are introduced. So first,
we kind of wanted to bring in the main 2 characters, which is Jack and Rory, as they're going to be the 2 kind of involved in the whole of the film, which normally in most films they'll bring in the main actor or main actors in the first couple of minutes to make sure that people know who are the main actors and who they're looking out for. So, like talking about the rest of the story, I think we were kind of going for like what's going to happen is it's going to be about Jack and Rory running away from the police, trying to find the papers, trying to find the person who killed Lucy, or trying to find the person who killed Lucy and get the papers back to show that they're innocent. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think what we did, it wasn't predictable, because I don't think anyone would predict from watching that first 2 minutes that what's going to happen, and they can't pinpoint, because there's a lot of films where you can watch the first 2 minutes and then you can decide what happens at the end.
Yeah, which really goes on like our mystery point and how...
Which is something we really didn't want to do.
Exactly. So that really developed into like a whole new situation for us, because we were thinking about how we can even more develop into like deeper mystery, so we could make the viewer even more confused and like absent of how it was going to entitle of the...
Because also in like
storyline.
the whole of the story, they're going to come across other situations that they're going to have to deal with, like Lucy being dead and everything. So we kind of just wanted to bring in quite a big thing, I think, at the beginning, which I think that someone dying in the first 2 minutes is quite a big... I don't think many films really do that. Yeah,
It makes people, the audience, question it more as well. So if we carried on the film afterwards, they'd want to know like who killed me and why.
Yeah, wanting
So
to watch
they'd be
it more.
questioning.
So that goes on to point 9, which is
Special effects.
So that was the fuzz on the CCTV.
Yeah,
the
that was one of the
CCTV.
main effects.
Low angle shots.
Which is when we came in for Lucy. Another point.
yeah, the reaction of Jack and Rory coming in. From our audience research, we kind of figured that people wanted something to bring in the death, so we had to film that reaction, which a lot of you won't realise, but that was in a completely different location which the rest of our thing was actually filmed. So we had to do that reaction to show, to bring in the death a bit slower than it's suddenly just someone being dead. Because a lot of people asked to say that it came so sudden that people just weren't expecting it. So
we felt that worked, because it's not like any other film. No one dies in the first 2 minutes of a film, so we felt it was different and it worked for us.
Yeah.
But I think a few people sort of questioned it because they like what's normal really, but we didn't really want that to happen.
But we think the reaction kind of like works in well though, and it brings in...
The reaction helped because no one walks into a room and does nothing when they see someone dead. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
So the
We've
reaction-
also got the glowing letters as well.
yeah.
That was quite important because that would like add like a ghosty feel, so adding to more suspense and stuff like that.
Yeah, bringing the mystery behind it all. So, like, it's finishing with the framed and the glowy with the police sirens going behind it. Kind of all shows how it's all mystery and what the hell's going to happen next, what's going to happen. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Right.
pretty much finished.